if you are a regular Automotive Trends YouTube subscriber, you probably recognize the Nissan Rogue from not too long ago, and you're right, but that was a 2013, and in fact, if you watched that review, we told you to avoid it at all costs and wait for the 2014, which we predicted would be much improved. And today, we're driving the 2014 Nissan Rogue, and we're glad to report that Nissan has fixed just about all the issues we had with the old Rogue, and so we look like geniuses once again. So let's start with what we like. First of all, the style, I think, looks good. You can only do so much in the small crossover segment, but I think Nissan's worked well with what they have here. And we've got some nice upscale touches, which is nothing you could say about the Rogue before, but now we have LED daytime running lamps, which look pretty cool. We even have on this loaded up SL model LED headlights, which is just hard to think about at the $30,000 crossover market, but here they are, LED headlights on the Nissan Rogue. We have some great looking 18-inch wheels, some nice bright work around, a good looking proportion on the wheelbase, the bright work around the greenhouse. It all works very well in our eyes and is worlds better than the old Rogue. So we're already off to a handsome vehicle and a good start there. In the powertrain department, although yes, on paper it's very similar, we still have the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, and yes, it's still good for about 170 horsepower and 175 pound-feet of torque. So it's not a lot on paper, and this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, so you'd think that's not going to quite cut it, but Nissan, as we've said before, is about the best there is when it comes to CVTs. And this is a CVT, but we're glad to report that it doesn't really behave like a CVT, and that is why we're perfectly okay with it. The CVT has been retuned here much more smartly. In fact, it shifts like an automatic almost all the time, which is nice to see. Doesn't give you any of that ridiculous droning. And where we talked about the Rogue being very, very loud in the engine compartment before, they've definitely stepped up their game there. Now it's much more refined engine note, quieter at all speeds. The CVT reacts much smarter, and so good things there. Yes, it's never going to light any pavement on fire, but the CVT is great in everyday situations, and it now returns 32 miles per gallon on the highway, far and above better than anything the 2013 Rogue could achieve. So they've made strong improvements in that regard. We're also much bigger fans of this new model's interior. Where before the trim and plastics were terrible, now we have nice materials, and we have a variety of materials with some bright work and some kind of fake carbon fiber trim, and some very comfortable leather seats, a nice looking steering wheel with controls that are well placed. Actually, just overall a much improved cabin that holds up now at the low $30,000 price point. This model with plenty of options and stickers for about $32,900, so it's getting pricey for the market, but this one is well equipped. Like we said, we've got the panoramic moonroof, we've got cool LED headlights, a whole suite of safety features. We've got the around view camera system with cameras in the mirrors, front and back, so you can bring it up on the screen. If you're off-roading or anything like that, you can see what the front wheels are hitting. Very cool. And now that they've enlarged the center screen to 7 inches, so it's usable, that's kind of a neat feature. Also, decent space in the cargo area and some clever underfloor cargo areas as well. We've got a nice big spare tire down there. We've got the ability to move these, to bring them up here, to create a partial shelf, fold these flat. The whole thing is pretty usable all around. And more good news, where before the second row was nothing to write home about, they didn't even include your own heating or air conditioning vents. We now have vents for the second row, and we have really a cool feature that's kind of often overlooked. I shouldn't say feature, more of a design element, and that is that this has a noticeably higher H point for the second row, so passengers don't feel like they're squashed down. Easy visibility out. In fact, a passenger in the front or the front seats, you could almost see out the windshield over top of them, and I'm 6 foot. Even with the panoramic sunroof, I've still got headroom. So Nissan did a nice job there too. Much better second row accommodations. It also has a great ride quality. Before we talked about in the old Rogue that it didn't isolate you very well. from the road. We now have a great ride over all manner of broken pavement. It's quiet inside and very, very quiet in road noise. So we've had a major tire upgrade here, or we've had a major improvement in sound insulation. Whatever it is, it works brilliantly. And now this is a very comfortable vehicle to drive on long distances. The Nissan Rogue SL here at the top of the model range starts at about $29,000 and some change. A couple $1,000s in options puts it at $32,000 and change, and it's now a very, very strong vehicle in the segment. And if you're shopping against Equinox, Escape, RAV4, Mazda CX-5, the list goes on and on and on, you really, really, really want to spend some time looking at the Nissan Rogue. For 2014, it's probably a contender for the most improved vehicle over 2013. We're just really glad Nissan took our criticisms to heart and delivered improvements on almost all of them. Nice job, Nissan. Please, please, please wait for the 2014, which we're sure will be much improved. Well, we're here today to tell you, in fact, it's almost like they watched our review and fixed everything we didn't like about it. So, shoot. The train came off the tracks in a hurry there. Close the